So I cannot stop laughing about this, bro. Um oh god. So basically, producers should just start pirating everything, bro. So Reason has instituted this new authentication system where basically if you have an old version of Reason, it's fuck you. And I just want to say, if FL Studio ever starts doing something like this, I'm gonna start pirating it. I'm not gonna lie to you right now. They might already be doing it. I'm in that little program where you're like a power user, whatever the fuck with FL Studio. So I just get everything for free. So I don't know if they're already doing this. You guys let me know in the comments. But let's just get into it, because Reason is fucking wilding, bro. This is gonna be a short one. I just learned about this from a channel that I like called Louis Rossman. I'll link the video below. It's fucking wild. I just want to cover a very small part of it that is just ridiculous. They are wilding over there. It's getting grimy. So basically, Reason has changed the entire code of their digital audio workstation, so that, not the digital audio workstation per se, because if you bought an old version, the code in the old version wouldn't be changed. But even within that old version, you still have to authenticate it from time to time. And apparently the way they've set it up now, you have to authenticate it after each use, which is the problem, or before each use, which is the goddamn problem. But basically, they've changed the code in the authentication so that if you bought an old version, I believe before Reason 8, and we'll get into it in a second here with the response they gave to this guy, you can't authenticate it anymore, which basically just means you can't use it. So let's just get into it. There's a guy who purchased it a long time ago, is very happy with his old purchase, and says, when I purchased your software, I purchased a perpetual license and did so under the reasonable assumption that maintaining and installation of the software I paid for would be a straightforward process. As of September 25th, 2023, I can no longer activate the software I paid for, as you have decided that its copy protection system, which is the authentication system, is no longer something that you can be bothered to maintain. It's the old one. It used to be managed by a different tech company. I think they're doing it in-house, or they've switched tech companies. They've got a new, I think they have a CTO for the first time ever. Their entire executive suite is becoming more robust. Reason is becoming a bigger company on paper, but their customer treatment is absolute garbage based on this situation so far. So they can't be bothered to maintain. As such, you've effectively stolen from me, which is what they did. If you paid $300, $400, $500 for a software, and one day they get up and say, they literally just wake up and say, fuck you, you can't use it anymore. That's theft. That's theft. And it's clearly a push to force people to upgrade for some fee. And it's interesting because right after doing this in September, they ran a sale the next month in October, all month, 60% off the upgrade. It's hilarious. As such, you've effectively stolen from me, and as you've decided to stop honoring your side of the agreement we made when I purchased the software. It is a two-way agreement. Now these lawyers get into this whole back and forth kind of grimy game where they'll change the EULAs every fucking 6 hours so that it's made to fuck you over, fuck us over. I mean, not everybody's lucky enough to have a YouTube channel where they can get free software, because again, I have FL Studio for free. So I don't know if they're doing this to people as well over on the image line side of things, but it's absolutely just ridiculous. You can, of course, buy the software back from me at a reasonable price, including all the rack extensions I paid for. Again, there are countless native Reason VSTs that you can only use with them, that this new like code change in the authentication system, I think I'm saying that word wrong, will basically, it'll break the entire thing to where you can't use anything in your digital audio workstation, which is just ridiculous. Seriously, imagine paying hundreds, thousands of dollars for this shit for some random fucking CFO or CTO to wake up and be like, I don't think I'm gonna make it work anymore. Literally, fuck you, bro. But as without Reason, all of that shit is worthless, right? And taking into account the inconvenience your misbehavior has caused me, alternatively, you could remove the copy protection system from the software so that I can continue using it as I have previously. So that's the main meat and potatoes of this guy's whole gripe. He's a little bit salty, as Louis Rossman will say in his video. Again, check out that video down below. I've been getting more into his type of content recently, just because, like I've said in a couple of the past few daily videos, I've been getting into coding. That's neither here nor there. Definitely check out that video. Look at Reason's response, though. So they said, hi, I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that none of your proposed resolutions are feasible. This is the part that is like, if ImageLine ever does this to me, I promise you, I am chartering a ship and I'm going to the Pirate Bay within the next 30 minutes, bro. Because if I ever get anything like this from any company, bro, it could be Netflix, it could be YouTube Premium. YouTube's wilding with the ad block shit right now. I won't lie. A lot of these tech companies are kind of wilding. Just give better service. Don't try to fuck us over. I pay for YouTube Premium and it's actually worse than just fucking getting an ad block. I pay for Netflix. It's worse than just stealing the shows, bro. It's kind of crazy. People pay for Reason and it's worse than just fucking stealing it. This guy would have had a better experience if he had just pirated it, because the keygen in the pirate would work forever. But because he bought it and it's authentic, they can fuck him over and there's nothing he can do except go buy a new one, stop using it, switch, or start stealing it. Like, how is that fair to him? So they say, although I suspect you realize this, none of them are feasible, although I suspect you realize this. That is just... wow. Anyways, refunds and returns are limited to a 30-day period after your purchase. So Lewis said this in his video and I thought it was hilarious. The other thing that should be limited to 30 days is your ability to change my access to it. How do you just decide 1,000 days, 1,100 days after I've purchased the software and made an agreement with you that I don't have access to it anymore unless I give you another 50, 100, 200 bucks? How is that fair? How is that fair? And there's a lot of companies that do this. Let me just talk about Omnisphere for a second. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of my whole, it's a little bit different, but I suspect that in the coming year or so, my specific gripe about Omnisphere will be exposed. I would not go as far as to say they're doing something like Reason. I would not go as far as to call Omnisphere a scam, but it's overpriced. And that whole model of overpricing your product when it's not valuable is terrible customer service. But anyway, I always got to get my 2 shots in on Omnisphere. Fuck Omnisphere. I'm just playing. Omnisphere is cool. It's cool. It's whatever. But anyway, your last purchase from us was in 2011. Obviously, that's much longer than 30 days ago. Removing the system of authorization from Reason is not a realistic proposition. Reason 8 is no longer available. That last sentence right there, Reason 8 is no longer available. Really, that last 2 sentences of just, it's not realistic, it's not available, is literally just like, I heard you, but fuck you. And this, it's like, it's kind of different here because I just think that is a truly, truly strange way to treat your customers, especially people that are creatives that care about doing this shit. So I went in to change my screen and instead I actually just turned off the video. So I said a bunch of stuff to close out the video and it was actually pretty good. Didn't record, went back to look and it didn't record. Can't remember. It was really good stuff. Cure to cancer type of speaking right there. So it sucks that I can't remember. But I think the main point that I'm trying to make is that it's absolutely just ridiculous. And that as things progress, people are going to start making a decision. So this was the main thesis of what I wanted to say before I shut off the camera by accident, is that people are going to decide to start doing one of 3 things, or they will, or one of 2, or one of 3 things, or they will do a combination of all of them. They will either stop using the software, right? So for Reason, in the case of Reason, for example, they will stop using the software outright and they'll just stop doing whatever they were doing with that software, which is bad because not only is Reason losing the customer, but the space in general is losing the customer. So Reason is fucking it up for everybody, the consumer, themselves, and the entire niche, which is really, really bad. 2, they'll just switch. In that case, it's bad for Reason, but good for other companies, which is good for commerce in general. That's assuming FL Studio is not doing something similar. That's assuming Logic is not doing something similar. Or 3, people will start stealing it. You saw the title of this video. If you go watch Lewis's video or you watch a couple more of his videos, everything's not about pirating over there, but he makes a pretty good case for it. He's like me. I used to never recommend pirating. I used to vehemently reject and come down on people who were, supporting pirating. But looking at how companies are treating people now, and honestly just looking at everything and seeing that people are going to keep doing this thing where They're going to change the definition of what purchase means. Purchase doesn't mean you get it, you exchange something of value, and now they own your money and you own the product. That's not how it works anymore, even though the guy that bought Reason who's making this complaint was under that assumption. But that's not how it works anymore. They get your money and they own it, but then you get leased use of the product until they decide you can't use it anymore and you have to do this thing, or you just don't have access, or you have to pay them more money. That's fucking ridiculous. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how everybody in the tech space begins to react to tech in general, right? There's a lot of things changing just because of AI in general. Coding is becoming just a language that a lot of people speak. So a lot of people are able to do very like menial things with coding that they couldn't do before. Like, for example, when you pirate, there's a little bit of coding you might have to do. You might have to go into your shell and change some of the code in your like directories or whatever the fuck, right? A lot of people used to not know how to do stuff like that, so they just wouldn't pirate. That's like you're a couple of YouTube videos away from knowing how to do like some pretty substantial coding now. So on top of pirating just being much, much better than it used to, like I'm talking from trying to use a canoe to cross the Atlantic to basically getting a ship that's a ship double the size of the Titanic that is sink proof. Like pirating is so much better than it used to. I don't pirate. Again, I want to be very clear. I bought FL Studio and then they upgraded me to the max package for free because I am a power user. Again, so I don't know, but I do know pirating is better. I know about networking. I know about cloud computing in general. I know a little bit about tech, and I know a little bit about coding now. I know pirating is getting better. So it's going to be interesting because I'm definitely that kid in class that would snitch. He's pirating, Miss Douglas. I'm going to tell on him. I used to be that kid, but now I'm just looking at it like, I don't know, maybe everybody should start pirating just to at least let these companies know. I mean, it's so much better now. It's so much better now. It's not going to destroy your computer anymore. Just being real. This is not YouTube. If you're listening, I'm not trying to like galvanize people to pirate, but I'm trying to make a very clear point that I don't think we should be galvanizing companies to steal from their patrons either, right? Like Reason is not fucking cheap, if I understand correctly. That's some people's rent, right? Especially back then when he bought it, he says he has an older version. That was probably a month or two of rent, right? It's substantial. It doesn't matter that the CTO is making millions of dollars and he doesn't fucking care, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see. I wanted to talk to you guys about it, doing different kinds of content on this channel lately. I'm having fun chopping it up with you guys, connecting with you on a deeper level. Let me know what you think about this topic in general. Let me know what you think about pirating in general. Let me know what your favorite color is. Check out this video appearing on the screen right now. YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.